Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Jack with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I've got a 10-minute body weight leg workout for you guys, so you don't have to miss leg day again. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Thursday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance. That includes little workouts like this. So jump on it. Ready? Let's get into this one. Alright guys, we'll be diving right into this one. It is going to be every minute on the minute here. And if you need to take a second to warm up, feel free to pause right here and go ahead and get those legs nice and warmed up, the hips loose, so that you're ready to go for this one. If you're ready to go, here we are. We're going to start with a shin box position. So I have my right leg out front with the inside of the foot touching the inner thigh, and my left leg bent to the back with the foot planted in plantar flexion. Now if you can't do the foot in plantar flexion, you can always put the inside of the edge of the foot down to the floor so that that foot is open to start until you get that ankle plantar flexion. Here I'm driving to the top with a nice squeeze from the glutes, trying to max out my hip extension with the hips in internal and external rotation here. Focus on that squeeze of the glutes at the top, the abs being engaged, and keeping those shoulder blades nice and tight on the upper back in this position as we go up each time. Very good. Next, we're going to progress the movement. So as we come up, you're going to swing that left leg out front, tuck the back toes, and stand up from the bottom of a lunge. So once again, hip high, swing the left leg out front, stand up from the lunge there. Stepping back with the right leg first, setting that shin back in position, and then swinging the left leg back around into our starting position of the shin box. So once again, we drive up nice and high, get those hips extending, swing the left leg around the front, step back with the right, swing the left leg back around, and we're back into our shin box. Take your time with this one if you need to really focus on the movement and make sure that you're getting each portion of it piece by piece. So slow it down, break it into pieces as you need to, and focus on the glutes being engaged not only in the shin box but also in the lunge portion as we're lowering and raising from that. Good. Next we're going to go to the shin box on the left side. So my left leg is out front, the right leg is to the back with the foot in plantar flexion, and we're just focusing on getting warmed up in that shin box position for our next progression to come. Very good. On our next rep, we're progressing that movement where I swing the right leg out front, come to a full stand, step back with the left, and then swing the right leg back around. Take your time once again. If you need to, break this up into pieces. It needs to be well controlled, and that is our main focus. So we have a shin box, and we have standing up from the bottom point of a lunge and reversing it. Right leg swings to the front, presses up into full standing, step back with the left, swing the right leg back around into the shin box. Move well, think about the movement, slowly controlling each step of it.
Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you.
All right, for our next one, we're gonna sit to our heels with our foot in plantar flexion. Now if this is too much, put a pillow between the hamstrings and the calves here. And we're going to be doing what I call a seiza to a sissy. So it's kind of a combination of sitting seiza and a sissy squat. And what you want to do is drive the hips forward up at an angle toward the corner of the room as you lean the shoulders back. Here we're learning to control that extension of the hips and hinge from the hips while we keep the spine in a nice neutral position. So keep the abs engaged, think about the shoulder blades being on the upper back, and the chin can be tucked towards the Adam's apple here to keep those abs engaged as well. Each time focusing on full extension of those hips, your quads are going to feel the work though. Next, we're transitioning into a glute bridge here. Get the heels as close to the butt as possible, shoulder blades rolled down and back, low back pulled flat to the floor, so this is going to keep our abs engaged. From the feet, we want to make sure we have 3 points of contact on each foot. The first metatarsal behind the big toe, the fifth metatarsal behind the small toe, and the heel. That makes up a tripod foot on each side. Now every time we raise those hips up, we're elevating the hips into full extension, but we're also focusing on keeping the knees in line with the middle or smallest toes. So we don't want those knees to collapse inward toward one another as we raise the hips here. Once again, chin is tucked toward the Adam's apple. Every time I lower to the floor, my low back should be coming down flat to the mat, and that's making sure that my abs are holding their position throughout the movement and I'm not losing that engagement. This should be all glutes, my friends. It's called a glute bridge for a reason. Alright, this next one will be a challenge for a lot of you. It is a supine full arch, I call it. Here we are picking the hips up off the floor with the legs fully extended, the hips fully extended, and creating a little bit of extension through the lumbar spinal column to the upper back. That doesn't mean you should feel your low back. You should feel your glutes doing the majority of this hold. Now, if your hamstrings are what you tend to rely on, you will try and feel your hamstrings more. That doesn't mean we want to, but your body will rely on your hamstrings more if you are not quite primed in that glute range like we need to be. So do your best to focus on the glutes. If you can't do this fully extended, you can bring the legs in a bit and shorten the length of that lever up some as well. Alright, very good. Next we're going to stand up and transition to a shrimp squat. So here we're going to get our balance with 3 points of contact from that foot again, and we want to be placing the full shin of the leg to the mat behind us. Or, to make it a little bit more challenging, start to try and do just the tip of that knee behind the standing heel. My shoulder blades are on my upper back. I'm reaching the leg that's up behind my standing leg. This helps me get a little bit of external rotation of the hip on the front leg, and I'm trying to keep my torso as square as possible to the wall in front of me, making sure that I'm not rotating my body. The main thing that will be here to help you make balance will be those tripod feet. So we want to make sure that you have that first metatarsal, fifth metatarsal, and heel, and that you're doing your best to try and maintain that throughout this movement. Alright, switching sides once again. Set the foot so you have that tripod. Try and keep the knee from caving in toward that big toe. You'll see that I start by putting my full shin down. That's going to be the little bit easier version of it. Then, as I want to make it more challenging, I'm trying to put just the tip of the knee down. But my goal is not to push off that back leg very much, or if at all. It's really to rely on the front leg being completely loaded. You will notice that my knee is going to track over my toes on this, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing. However, if your knees give you trouble, you can always hold on to a post or something out in front of you, and this will allow you to shift back further so you have less of that track of the knee forward. You could even put your foot right up toes to that post and then do it that way so your knee actually gets blocked from going too far forward. So that's one way we can modify these here. All right, and our very last exercise is going to be a Cossack squat. Here, I'm going to take my feet nice and wide, once again focusing on a tripod foot from the leg that I'm shifting towards. And you'll notice that I do have a fair amount of forward body lean. That's natural with a Cossack squat. When you're doing them with body weight only, you'll have more torso lean to counter that balance there a little bit. Try and keep the shoulder blades on the upper back, reach back the hips first, roll to the heel of the leg that's going straight, and focus on the quadriceps staying engaged on that leg to keep that leg engaged, not just let it get pushed. We want to actually keep that leg flexed as we shift over. The knee of the leg that's bending should open up toward the middle or small toes as you shift from side to side here, coming up to a full stand, getting the glutes engaged at the top each time. All right, and there you guys have it. A quick 10-minute body weight, no equipment necessary leg workout that you can be doing right from home, and you have no more excuses as to why you skipped leg day. So sorry about that, but if you guys like this workout, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below, and take a moment to share this one with a friend. If you have any comments, be sure to drop those down below, or questions I should say, drop those down below in the comment section, and I will answer those for you gladly. And if you have not already, make sure you take advantage of the 7-day mobility training challenge. This is gonna help you guys identify those limitations in range of motion and flexibility, and pretty much tell you where you're at risk for the aches, pains, and injuries. And lastly, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Thursday, we're putting out videos showing how to resolve the aches and pains, prevent the injuries, and overall optimize your performance. And that includes strength workouts like this. So take advantage of it. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. I'll catch you guys next week.